Welcome, everybody, to ABN's home playground. Welcome to Kentucky Speedway, located right at the halfway point between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Louisville, Kentucky, on I-71. This track is Kentucky's home of stock car racing, open wheel racing, and everything in between. For those joining us on ABN 1 for the HTL National Series, welcome home. Practice underway here at Kentucky Speedway. Drivers hard at work, 21 currently on track. All set to try to win the first of 3 races here at Kentucky Speedway over the next 5 days. Right now, David Duran Jr. sits top of the board over DJ Trout and Chris Pindell. But who's to say someone like Blake Henderson or Christina Ryan couldn't come in and make a fuss about it, or Josh Susie, who's going to have a lot of experience come Monday when he tries to fight for a championship. How about Callie Height, who's in championship contention at the moment? A lot of different variables tonight. Over 117 laps, 175 miles. For this thing, and I'm Carmen, Sienna. Thank you all so much for joining us here for what should be an amazing evening of racing. This track was one of the best races on the HTL calendar last season. We're hoping to see a little bit more of the same here tonight. As we mentioned before, 21 cars on track here, about 13 minutes and change left in practice. David Duran Jr. is in the lead of practice over DJ Trout and Chris Pindell. Connor Morris in 4th place is our fastest car on track at the moment. 4th fastest ahead of Josh Gaiman and Ruby Estes, who, just like AVN, calls Kentucky Speedway home. Ruby Estes on track in the 99 for Ascent Racing once again, trying to do well at home. Right now she's doing a really good job carrying the banner for Ascent Racing. Jonathan Cogswell 7th fastest, and it's Lily Pelletier Sharp in the 8th position behind the 21 Alfred Denny right there on track. Denny is 20th fastest at the moment as things stand. Pelletier Sharp just went 4th fastest, sitting right behind Alfred Denny. Mark Parkhurst, his team has done extremely well in this series so far. Christina Ryan and DJ Trout finishing 1-2 last week at Watkins Glen, looking to do so again here tonight. Right now, Mark Parkhurst is sitting in the 10th spot. Just moved 4th fastest as well behind Eli Sasick. Parkhurst has done a really good job tandeming this on top of a Champ Car World Series season, where he has done pretty well. Had a top 10 at Chicagoland, was running really well until cold tires caught him out at Watkins Glen on Wednesday. But now we head to Texas in that series on Wednesday, the 7th. Right in his playoffs once again as Connor Morse decides to go for a little bit of a ride to the infield. And he will come to a stop right next to the 6 of Chris Pindell. Chris Pindell, this is a home track for him too. Chris Pindell from Aberdeen, Ohio. This would be his closest track. Right on the Ohio River. Blake Henderson on track at the moment, seeing the Mountain Dew scheme run through. You have Eli Sasick there in the 9. In 18th position, Reb Balzer, who we know has a lot of good race pace, sitting in the 18th and the 17th spot at the moment. Only driver we haven't seen just yet is that 48 car, Christina Ryan. Have not seen that car on track just yet. No times for Christina Ryan at the moment. She's the only one to not set a time. Wait and see if that changes though. David Duran Jr. back on track, the current leader in practice. Still looking for a race win this season. Parker's up in the 4th spot still, behind Blake Henderson. See what Henderson can do here. In 19th, fast Alfred Denny just a little bit behind in 20th place. I'm trying to see if Henderson can move up the board here a little bit. Going down pit lane. Connor Morris trying to use draft off of Eli Sasek to advance his position. Practice continues to wind down. 8 minutes and change left to go here. So let's walk you through a little bit of the point situation here for the National Series, because this is a series that does not currently have a chase system. We have the playoffs in HTL Cup Series competition. We have a chase in the Truck Series. This is the series that does not have a playoff system at all. David Duran currently sits atop the board. He's atop the board in practice, on top of the driver standings. 263 points for David Duran. Callie Height, who we mentioned, sitting in championship contention at the moment, 2nd place in points after these first handful of races, these first 4 races. With 6 races to go, including tonight, she sits just 16 points shy, but ahead of Angel Santiago, who looks fantastic in the point standings as well as Mark Parkhurst and Josh Gaiman. That's your top 5 in the points. John Hagan, who is suspended until the end of the season, is in 6th. He'll drop down the order. Eli Sasek in 7th. Rhett Balzer in 8th. Chris Pendell in 9th. Then you have Richard Ode behind Chris Pendell to round out the top 10. Richard Ode, the race winner from Chicagoland on fuel mileage, in the 10th position here. James Jones in 11th, and Jonathan Cogswell, who missed a race, missed the opening round. He's in 12th ahead of DJ Trout, Connor Morris, and Christina Ryan, who makes her 3rd start tonight. Christina's in the top 15 ahead of Blake Henderson, Josh Susi, John McIntyre, Stephen Overstat, and John Buwalda make up the top 20. Callie Height looking to continue the run that she's had so far. Would love to try to crawl into that gap set by David Duran, but David Duran is going to be a very challenging target tonight. Chris Pendell back on track. Running the number 6 machine. Christina Ryan is finally on track for the first time, running laps, and in 20th place ahead of Alfred Denny. Once again, the 48 that was vacated by Olivia Hammond to start the season. Was not anticipating running most of this season, but now here she is in her 4th start. Or 3rd start, excuse me. Henderson in his fourth. He missed one race. But Christina Ryan certainly sitting 20th fastest. Definitely not a slouch here. Was very competitive at Chicagoland before going on to win at Watkins Glen. And now here she is once again. Again, draft will be very indicative of as far as like who's got the lap times in practice. We'll see a lot more evidence of who's got the pace once we get into qualifying here in about 5 minutes. Christina's going to practice pit entry. Very tricky pit entry here at Kentucky because it's a very narrow apron. Very clean there by Christina Ryan there. DJ Trout in the 45 filling in for James Jones. He's got back-to-back top 10s in the Champ Car World Series as a rookie. Really good results there for DJ Trout. But Trout's going to also come down pit lane here. Henderson back on track as well. Christina Ryan just now leaving pit lane. And this is a very tricky pit lane. We'll see if we can ride on board with flying Christina Ryan. Let's walk you around the lap here at Kentucky Speedway while we wait for the qualifying session to begin. We're in turn 3 and 4 right now, which is a lot different than 1 and 2. Turn 3 and 4, it's wider, but it's a little bit more flat. 11 degrees of banking on turns 3 and 4, whereas 14 degrees of banking in 1 and 2. It's a little bit narrower. Passes usually happen in 3 and 4. We've seen photo finishes at this track before, and we'll probably see that a little bit of that here tonight with this Gen 6 package. Christina ran the outside lane on her warm-up lap, but now is back to the yellow line. But again, in turns 3 and 4, multiple lanes can work. We've seen that. Christina Ryan just went 12th fastest. So she's hauling the mail a little bit. Now she's in the outside lane this time. Straddling that seam, separating the middle from the outside lane. Back down to the apron, very bumpy and rough apron here at Kentucky Speedway. You can tell where the track's been repaved recently and where it hasn't. This track was reconfigured before the NASCAR Cup Series visited. I'm sorry, after the NASCAR Cup Series visited. It was like 3 years in. 2014, I believe, is when the track was reconfigured. It was symmetrical up until that point. So the Cup Series got to see both sides of Kentucky Speedway, but that infield, you can tell the different coloring, the different aggregate of pavement there. That wasn't changed, so it makes the apron that they run on the front straightaway very bumpy, very abrasive, and you can see it as you're right on board with Christina Ryan, just how aggressive that bumpiness is. And right on board with David Durant, who's not far away from Christina Ryan here. See the extended spoiler, the plexiglass extension on that spoiler. And he gets right up to that wall. And he's going to try practice pit lane entry here. And gets down there very clean and tidy. Pautier Shark coming to a stop on the back straightaway. Callie Height, the next fastest car on track, with about a minute left to go in 11th, and Christina Ryan in 12th, just ahead of Callie Height. Christina Ryan trying to extend her streak. Going to get practice pit entry one more time before practice expires. Not a bad idea. And gets down below the speed limit there. The speed limit at this track, it's not lightning quick, that is for sure. It's a very staggering pit speed. I believe 45 miles an hour is the pit speed here. Christian Gonzalez back on track here in the 23. As practice comes to an end. And now it'll be time for qualifying. Qualifying beginning here. Let's see who gets on track first. Looks like it will be Christina Ryan, one of the first ones on track here. Watching on board with Christina Ryan here. Try on board with Christina Ryan, the 48 for Premier Racing Club. Race winner from last week, back at it again. Across the line here. 177 miles an hour for Christina Ryan. DJ Trout, Ryan, James Wright, Peltier Sharp all set times at the same time. But it's Christina Ryan, top of the board. And stays that way. Jonathan Cogswell, winner from Darlington. What can he do to set a time on the board? Missed Daytona, the season opener. Won Darlington. Did not do well at Watkins Glen last week. But he's in the mix, trying to go for pole position and ruin the party. Alfred Denny goes sixth fastest. David Durand on track now. We'll move to him next. Cogswell goes only 14th fastest, very bottom of the field. Actually moved to Chris Pendell. Another driver that really this is their home track from Aberdeen, Ohio on the Ohio River. Just a small bridge away from the state of Kentucky. Pendell on the back straightaway now. Durand, Pendell, Henderson next up on the list for those to watch. Christina Ryan was not fast in practice, didn't have the draft to do it. Showing what she's got right now in qualifying. Front of the field, does Pendell have anything for it? Sixth place, Durand goes third. So the front of the field is still pretty safe. Blake Henderson, he reset. He has not taken his run. We'll see if he will. And there he goes. So Christina Ryan, top of the board, with a 29.77. Not a bad effort so far. Henderson starts his lap now. Same with Josh Susie. Henderson gonna have just seconds to spare on his qualifying run. Gets a right to the yellow line. Pushes a little bit on exit. He's got to get right down to that apron. Across the line, only 15th fastest for Henderson. Susie will be the last one to set a time with seconds to spare. A little more aggressive there from Susie to get to the apron. Use a little bit more of that apron. 4th fastest. Wow. Christina Ryan on pole position once again, 2nd in a row after getting on pole position at Watkins Glen last week. So we get ready to jump into this here. We'll look at the starting grid. Christina Ryan, top of the board at 29.769. DJ Trout in 2nd. They were 1-2 last week. They'll start the way they finished last week. 29.784 for DJ Trout. He will be on the front row. Row 2, David Durand and Josh Susie getting ready to go here in Kentucky Speedway. Susie in the 4th position. He'll get a lot of practice going into Monday's race. He's not been to Kentucky Speedway as a driver in HTL competition. He gets to be here twice in 4 days. Row 3, James Wright in the 50, Mark Parkhurst in the 42. James Wright, this is his first appearance in HTL at Kentucky. Same with Mark Parkhurst. He was not present when we came here last season. Chris Pendell and Josh Gaiman in row 4. They make up the top 8. Rest of the top 10 right here. Alfred Denny, really good starting position for him. And Lily Peltier Sharp, back from eye surgery. Missed last week. Missed the last couple weeks, actually. Peltier Sharp now back in action, qualified in the 10th position. Did not have a great time on Wednesday, her last time on track. Trying to rectify that here tonight. One of the people she wrong, Callie Height, in the 11th spot right behind her. Eli Sasek in 12th to fill out row 6. Then it's Connor Morris and Caleb Eichler in row 7. Row 8, Ruby Estes, home driver, home state from nearby Lexington. And Blake Henderson alongside to complete that row. That's the top 16. 17th and 18th, it's Brett Balzer and Jonathan Cogswell. Top 10, or top 20 is completed by Angel Santiago and John McIntyre. And then Richard Gonzalez on his own in row 11. He will be 21st in the final starter for this race. It is HTL National Series action here. From Kentucky Speedway. It's our home state. It's a big weekend for us, big weekend for HTL. Playoff action across the board. Race 5 of 10 here tonight. It is Christina Ryan and DJ Trout, front of the field. Sosi and Durand in row 2. Sosi in the 81, Durand in the 24. Then it's Mark Parkhurst and James Wright, top 6. Chris Pendell, Josh Gaiman, top 8. Peltier Sharp and Denny, top 10. As we get ready to go. Two formation laps here tonight as we get ready to go. For some perspectives we have here available to you. ABN's wide open coverage of the HTL National Series continues here on ABN 1. Christina Ryan riding on board with her at the front of the field. We'll also be riding on board with Chris Pendell throughout this race. The Aberdeen, Ohio native considers this his home track as well. Callie Height, 2nd in the championship. Trying to gain spots on David Durand. That's going to be a hard task to do tonight, but 117 laps to make it happen. Speaking of David Durand, he's in the 3rd position. We have his on board as well. Then we have Ruby Estes, 99 for Zen Racing. Just an hour and change away from Sparta, Kentucky and Kentucky Speedway. She'll try to move through the field. She starts 16th. as we get ready to go. It is Christina Ryan and DJ Trout. As they finished last week, they begin tonight. But it's a long race. We're going to try to make things happen. This track is magical to some, a nightmare to others. Who's going to conquer the Kentucky Speedway? We're about to find out. Pace car is pulled in. And the HTL Bluegrass 175 is underway. Three laps completed here at Kentucky. It's David Duran who's gotten to the front of the field ahead of DJ Trout and Christina Ryan, who's dropped back a little bit early here. Chris Pendel up to fourth. We rode on board there with Callie Height, who was trying to make some inroads from the 11th position. Ruby Estes has gotten ahead of her. But Callie Height leads the three-wide formation there with Eli Sassy and Josh Gaiman to either side of her. Three wide still, the further back you look. And now it's three wide, Pelletier Sharp in the middle. And Pelletier Sharp was bouncing around big time. Not in a comfortable spot on the outside, in the middle lane there. And Eichler will go back through as well. Estes making a move for the 9th spot over Josh Susie. And the Lexington native will move into 9th place. Christina Ryan. New Charlotte, North Carolina native. Now back up to 2nd ahead of Trout and Pendel. Pendel up to 3rd ahead of DJ Trout with Connor Morris trying to join in. In fact, Morris on the inside lane there will move in to the 4th position. It's a matter of if he can hold it there. Trout has it a lot across the line still, but Morris in the more favorable position at the moment as things currently stand. Callie Height in the middle of a three-wide situation, almost four wide, a little bit of contact there between Pelletier Sharp and Height once again for the 2nd time in less than 72 hours. Pelletier Sharp and Height, they both keep going. That was not the case on lap 3 on Wednesday. It is right now. And for Height, it's another slide backwards. Was trying to get into the top 10 and is instead now just trying to hold on to the top 15. Henderson in 15th. Height now in 16th as things run. Henderson drops back down and Height gets back into 15th, but again trying to make moves, trying to use traffic to her advantage, and it's just not happening at the moment. Up into the front of the field, Christina Ryan and Chris Pendel battling for that 2nd spot. Trout in 4th. Morris in 5th, and it's Parker, it's Denny, James Wright, and Ruby Estes obviously has caught up to this line. Right at the very tail end there in the 99 machine. James right in the 50, that bluey number 50, that Ford Mustang. Gonna get past here, and Estes will go up to the 8th spot. And then you got James right there, and then all the way back there, Josh Gaiman ahead of Caleb Eichler in Pelletier Sharp. Kelly Height making it back up into the top 13. Henderson in tow. Susie's dropped back in 15th. Then it's Balzer, Sasek, Cogswell, McIntyre, Santiago, and Gonzalez. Again, David Duran leads over Ryan, Pendel, and Trout. But we are in full swing here at Kentucky Speedway. 10 laps completed. Still a long distance to go. Christina Ryan now under threat from Pendel, who's trying to get to second place. Duran loving what I'm seeing in the rearview mirror right now. The more they battle, the more they slow each other down, the more that benefits David Durant. Right on board with the race leader. As they battle, his gap is doubled in size. He's done an outstanding job. Started this race in third, has moved up to the race lead, and has no intentions of relinquishing it at this stanza of the race. Such is his methodology here. And again, Pendel and Ryan will continue to battle this one out. My brother Lubies this year in the 8th position. Gather her perspective of how this race is going so far. She's moved up several spots, up 7. And you see that battle. Man, both Estes still trying to make inroads here. You see how easy it is to find yourself in traffic here at Kentucky. Momentum is everything at this track, and you're seeing that right now. 3 wide, Morris, Denny, and Estes, with Parkhurst and James Wright in tow. Josh Gaiman using this to try to get into this battle and seal up the top 10. Look where Rubies is at right now. Started in 15th. Now currently in the 6th position. She's done an outstanding job. Now trying to battle for that top 5. Really actually trying to hold on to that 6th position. Mark Parkhurst has gained time. But here she is. And Parkhurst immediately trying to make inroads here on Alfred Denny. Moves to the inside of the 21. Denny moves to the outside lane. David Durand all the way now a second clear of Pendel and Ryan. Looks like Pendel's gotten clear. Christina Ryan has not gotten away from this group, so Pendel might be able to try to reel in Durand. That's, again, easier said than done. Christina Ryan struggling now just a little bit. See this battle for the third spot. Connor Morris almost got shifted all the way up to the wall. Ruby Estes has moved now into the top 5. But it's a tight battle for the top 5. Durand continues to lead the way by 1.1 seconds over Pindell, with Parkhurst now in third. Christina Ryan trying to hold on to that top 3 position. Gonna be hard. Pindell's on a roll as well. Yeah, the small little breakaway at the front of the field, and then 2 distinct packs at this point. Because a little bit further back here is another group where you see Susie, Height, Sasic, Santiago, McIntyre, Cogswell, Balzer, and Gonzalez. Christina Ryan defending for her life, holding on to that third spot at the moment. Defended from Mark Parkhurst pretty well in that endeavor. Estes now under attack there from Josh Gaiman. Whoa, a little bit of contact between Estes and Morris. And that separated the group there a little bit. Side by side, they remain. Right now, watching on board here, Ruby Estes in the 6th position, trying to hold on. James Wright has fallen backwards a little bit. Not quite where he wants to be at the moment. Started this race well, but has not stayed there. Right on board the Bluey number 50 machine. Sitting in the 12th position, down 7 spots is where James Wright is at right now. Started this race in 5th, was as high as 3rd at one point, but now being passed by Caleb Eichler, who moves his way into the 12th position. James Wright now down in 13th place, and he's in the wall. Ty Ware beginning to catch up to the 50. And in fact, he's going to come down pit lane. Meanwhile, Christina Ryan continues to lead the horde. Duran leads by 1.5 seconds. That's where he's at right now. Through turns 3 and 4. Chris Pindell not far behind, only 1.5 behind, but then it's a 2.8 second gap to Christina Ryan. This race is separated just a little bit from the front of the field and everyone else. Christina Ryan falling backwards even more now. Stuck 3 wide. Parkhurst goes through. Henderson trying to do the same. Talk about Henderson trying to have a resurgence. Did not have a good week last week. Has not had a good couple weeks here, really. Trying to turn it around. Feels a little bit more at home right now. Sitting in the top 5 at the moment as things stand. Gavin in 4th. Sorry, Parkhurst in 4th. Gavin in 3rd. As Henderson tries to go for the 4th position. Henderson in the 4th position now. Christina Ryan trying to get back to the top 5 as she is slid slowly and surely backwards. Here comes Henderson on Gaiman for 3rd. Good Jay, here comes Gaiman. Gaiman down pit lane now. So pit stops may be close to occurring. Alfred Denny's already come down pit lane, so is James Wright. Gaiman becomes the 3rd, but he's alone. And in comes Christina Ryan. It looks like a couple others. Yep, there's Ryan, Estes, Connor Morris, and Caleb Eichler. And Morris had a whale of a time trying to get that car woe down. Chris Pendell, now the race leader. And in comes Pendell. Parker will stay on another lap, so he will lead a lap here at Kentucky. And the carousel continues to swing. Does Parkhurst come down pit lane this time? He does. Josh Susie stays out though. Susie will take the race lead away. Here comes Susie, and he's going to come down pit lane. Sounds like he's saving fuel. Here's Cogswell. Jonathan Cogswell in the 27. Also coming down pit lane, David Durand will unlap himself. Someone who did not have a good pit stop, Chris Pendell, from 2nd all the way down. Put down now side by side with Josh Gaiman behind Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan had a way better pit stop. But here comes Pendell. Here comes the 6. Trying to go after another podium. Henderson just at the fast lap of the race, but he's outside it. He's just in the top 10. There he is, battling with Connor Morris. Still pandemonium throughout the field. It's been green flag all the way so far. So how about we're right on board with somebody. We're right on board with Blake Henderson. And crank it up. racing continues here at Kentucky Speedway. Right now you're looking at Ruby Estes, Lily Peltier-Sharp, and Eli Sasek battling for the top 10. And Peltier-Sharp got moved by Sasek. Estes moves to the inside lane. As the battle rages on. Estes sitting in the top 10 at the moment, just slipping out of it. Thanks, Peltier-Sharp. Morrison 12th, Eichler in 13th. David Duran still sitting very clearly on his own in the race lead by a significant margin. Pit stops occurred between laps 31 and 37. The magic number that needed to be hit was 39, and no one got to it. So it seems like a decent chunk of people have some extra pit stops to make. Anderson in the third position now, up 13 spots from where he started. Go ahead and walk you through the field. This is where he's at compared to the race leader, 6.5. The gap between Henderson and Durand. Christina Ryan just a little bit further behind, sitting in fourth at the moment. Started this race in the first position, has only led one singular lap in this race. Josh Kamen in the fifth position. Has been as high as third, started in the 8th position, but as low as 21st. So he's been all over the place, but now he's near the front of the field, battling for a podium at the moment. See if he can make things happen. DJ Trout in the 45, sitting in the 7th position at the moment. Has been as high as 2nd, that's where he started. Has been as low as 14th, so he's staying pretty well near the top half of the field. And that's where he sits right now. Alfred Denny from 9th place down to 21st, back up into the 8th position. Has been as high as 2nd, and that was during the pit stop cycle. But now from in the top 10, I had a Peltier-Sharp by over a second. Peltier-Sharp as high as 5th in that pit stop cycle, but has been sitting largely in the top 10 on the very fringes, between 10th and 15th place. Now in 9th, her highest spot since that pit stop sequence. Eli Sasek in 10th, looking for 9th. Has not been any higher than 6th. Was one of the early ones to come down pit lane. And now with his teammate, Ruby Estes, who has been as high as 5th, but has also been all over the place. Been as high as 5th, as low as 20th in a 21-car field. Connor Morris only ran 4th for a couple laps, but slipped down quickly. Started in 13th and has not really been able to eclipse that too awful much. Eichler, likewise, has not even touched the top 10 at any point in this race so far. He's been struggling with the handling of his car as it's fallen away. Callie Height, likewise, touched the top 10 once, was not able to stay. Now dealing with the likes of Jonathan Cogswell and John McIntyre down in the 14th position. Josh Susi leads Angel Santiago. There's Cogswell, who was as high as 2nd thanks to staying out an extra amount of time. Was one of those that came in on lap 37, but he's made no inroads since. Same with John McIntyre, as high as 7th, but has spent most of his time in the back 5 of the field. Angel Santiago into this race 3rd in points. Gonna lose some with how tonight's looking for him so far. Rhett Balzer in the 94, sitting in the 19th position. Then it's Richard Gonzalez in the 23. The gold GM Goodwrench, Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet in 20th. James Wright, the only driver 1 lap down. If a caution were to come out, it'd be a godsend for that 50 car who had to come in off pit lane after tagging the wall early in this race. Now sitting pretty well out of the sequence, needs a little bit of help. David Duran, top of the board, 55 of 61 laps led. He has led the lion's share of laps tonight, trying to lead as much as possible. Would love to extend his championship advantage. Right now, it's very easy to do so with his main contenders outside the top 10. And Chris Pendel will cycle back to him in second place. Home track for Pendel. Started 7th, now in 2nd, led a lap. Has also not been very much further down than 14th, and that was at the very start of the race. But he may be getting caught up to by Blake Henderson as we cycle all the way through the field. Henderson, Ryan, Parkhurst top 5 behind Durand and Pendel. As the fighting continues on here at Kentucky, we have crossed the halfway point. Henderson continues to lead this 5-car train, but they're not really gaining any time. Still stagnant at 2.1 seconds behind Chris Pendel. Still over 6 seconds behind David Durand at the front of the field. Henderson continues to hold on to that 3rd position at the moment. Beginning to pull away a little bit. Still not able to close in on Durand or Pendel, but beginning to pull away from Christina Ryan as tire wear begins to make an effect here. Ryan, Parkhurst, Gaiman, Trout, top 7. Sasek, Sharp, and Morris round out the top 10 at the moment. As the lights come on a little bit more, they become a little bit brighter as the sun sets. And the night sky gets a little bit darker here at Kentucky. Christina Ryan continuing to battle here over Mark Parkhurst, Josh Gaiman, and DJ Trout. Very tight-knit group. Again, battling for the last podium spot. They can't close in on Pindell. Pit stops are underway. Duran, one of the first ones in. Here comes Pindell and Henderson. Parkhurst, now the race leader. Christina Ryan staying out longer this time. Last time through, Christina Ryan was one of the shortest running cars. Came in just after the race leader, Duran, came down. Now she's staying out longer. Does Christina Ryan come down pit lane this time? She does. Parker stays out an extra lap. We've crossed the 70 lap mark in this race. Parker stays out yet again. Staying out extra long. Went to lap 37 before, so he's got until about... Sorry, went to lap 36 before, so he's got until lap 72, which he's already passed. So now we're in uncharted waters right now. Does he come in this time? DJ Trout seems to be right there with him. And in comes Parkhurst and Trout. And Sasek and Peltier sharp. How about Cogswell? He stayed out in extra lap before. Came in on lap 37. Him and Josh Susie. Cogswell stays out an extra lap here. He's going to try to go as close to 76 as he can. Easier said than done. Christina Ryan and Blake Henderson back together once again. Christina Ryan goes to the outside lane. Henderson splits the bottom and gets to the inside of Christina Ryan as Cogswell gets ready to come down pit lane. This time through. Oh, still side by side they go. Henderson trying not to get passed by the 48. Christina Ryan on the outside lane at through 1 and 2. Henderson trying to side draft, trying to pull Ryan back. Side by side still. 2 cars have stayed out. Angel Santiago just came down pit lane on lap 75. Josh Susie has stayed out longer. He's on lap 76 now. Oh, here we go. This battle continues to be tight. They've gotten ahead of Chris Pindell, who I believe had a speeding penalty. So he's thrown himself out of contention for the podium. Someone who is now firmly in contention for the podium right now, based on strategy right now, as things sit, Alfred Denny. Who's currently top of the board behind David Durant. Denny up to 2nd place. Would be his best result if he can hold on to it throughout the rest of this race. Ryan's gotten clear of Henderson, trying to pull away. Easier said than done when it's a 2-car tango. Susie down pit lane, coming to 40 laps to go. Could not make it enough. Went from 37 to 78. Ooh, that actually could be the magic number. He stretched out enough to avoid an extra pit stop. That's critical. Very, very, very critical. Ryan and Henderson continue the battle for the last spot on the podium, and they're closing in on Alfred Denny, who's been out since lap 62. He's committed to a 3-stop strategy. Durand as well on a 3-stop. It is Josh Susie trying to go long. If anyone's going to do it, it might be him. A little bit further back in this conversation, three-car battle. Trout, Parkhurst, and Morse. Then it's Peltier, Sharp, Sasek, and Eichlin. You see Chris Pendel a lap down there in front of them, not in contention of this anymore. It's been a caution-free race so far. David Durand, center of your screen, has commanded the field at this stanza. Durand leads the way by 8 seconds over Christina Ryan. They've gotten around Alfred Denny. But Denny, if he can hold on at the end of this race, could be in a really good spot for a podium. It's not over, not even close to over. Susie, who is a lap down now, and now in the hands of Henderson, Ryan. Santiago's a lap down as well, so those two sort of in the same situation at this point, a lap apart on the strategies. Christina Ryan in second place. This is a battle for second on track, as well as the battle for potentially the race lead on track once third round pit stops to go through here. And again, a caution changes all of this, throws all of the strategy conversations away. So you see in the 17th position at the moment as things currently stand. What a roller coaster race this could be for him of how things are right now. The only unfortunate part is that Richard Gonzalez now is the first car one lap down, which really puts a wrinkle in plans for Josh Susie if something were to happen late in this race, coming to 30 laps to go. Still side by side, once again, it's Ryan and Henderson. They continue to battle it out. They know that they're kind of out of this for the race win. The gap's 9 seconds. They're just going to slug it out. Josh Susie's in a really good spot because he gets to hold up. Contact. A little bit of elbows out there between Henderson and Ryan. And a little bit more. Wow. Ryan did not take kindly to it. She gets clear Henderson, but Henderson's going to try to return to the seat. For the contact he drew, I should add. Seeing blood beginning to boil over here, and it's allowed Susie through as they continue to fight each other. This will not go well. Henderson drives hard. Had to get out of it there. And will now get Meyer down. Had the ability to be really efficient there and wasn't. And that could bite him. Almost trouble in this field between second and third place on the track. And it's allowed Mark Parkhurst and DJ Trout to catch up. Susie and James Wright have both gotten ahead of these two. And Susie doesn't want to lead this train. In fact, it's imperative that he doesn't lead at any point. But now he's got to defend from James Wright because James Wright is in a position to fight him. James Wright could really spoil the party for him. Denny's in pit lane for his last stop. With 27 to go, he is good to the finish. Whoa! Side drafting almost went completely wrong there between Henderson and Ryan. And Parkhurst trying to pick up the pieces. How much of a nightmare could this be? Because this could get ugly. Sienna sitting in the third position now behind Henderson. Used up a lot of tires in that battle. Now trying to defend from Parkhurst and from Trout. Santiago sitting there, sitting in, saving fuel, importantly, on that. And here comes everyone with their final pit stops. Christina Ryan stays out. We expect that she'll probably come in next time through. See the time lost there in that fight. Susie and James Wright pulled away pretty easily. A lot of cars now, one lap down in this pit stop cycle. Top five are the ones on the lead lap, I believe. Actually, it might be all the way to the top four at this point. I think Callie Height might be the last car on the lead lap with this pit cycle ongoing. Christina Ryan in the second position now with clean air. See if she makes something happen here. Seems like she's struggling here a lot in 3 and 4, and she's coming in. So Sasek stays out, and so will Callie Height. We do believe here. Durand down the back straightaway now. putting several cars a lap down to 3 cars on the lead lap as things currently run. And Duran comes in. So now it's on Eli Sasek. Does he come in this time? Answer that question, no, he will not. Sasek will take over the race lead temporarily. And he led that lap. Looking where David Durand is at right now at the moment. This should be a 4-tire stop for Durand, the race leader. 14.1. And back out and running he goes. There's Sasek once again up and running. Race leader Eli Sasek. With 18 laps to go. Does not lap David Durand. That's crucial for Durand. He stays on the lead lap there. Alfred Denny back to second place. Here comes Sasek in this time. How about Callie Height? Where does Callie Height go? Is there a pit stop in Callie Height's near future? Or does she run this to the very end? Callie Height? She'll lead a lap out of this one. New race leader, Callie Height. Car 3, front of the field. Chris Pendell trying to get one of the laps back that he lost on his speeding penalty on the second stanza of pit stops. He will. Provisionally. He's still multiple, I think at least 1 lap down to Durand, who will inherit the race lead here. Here comes Height. And now it's on Josh Susi. Can he save 40 laps of fuel? And I say he needs to get 41 laps of fuel out of the mileage here. He doesn't need to save 41 laps of fuel. I think he realistically needs to save about 7 or 8. And that's hard to do when you're on your own and James Wright isn't leading. There's Durand on the same lap. That's rough. That's very, very rough. So it looks like a win may be out of the cards for Susi, because there's Durand on fresh tires, almost got run into by James Wright, who swept out wide. Susi with laps led will not lead this one. Durand to the point at the line. He'll take control of this race. DJ Trout down in the 4th position behind Santiago, who's yet to come down pit lane. Blake Henderson in the 6th position as things stand. That should change a little bit as we go along. Parkhurst ahead of Christina Ryan. Brett Balzer not on the lead lap in this conversation. Let's see if they can duke it out again. This is a tight fight for what could be the last step of the podium. Parkhurst ahead of Ryan. As Henderson goes after Denny for the position, he will. Potentially for 2nd spot here tonight. Henderson in 4th behind Trout and Susi. And here comes Denny being swallowed up by the pack. Christina Ryan moves forward. A little bit of contact there between teammates as Denny tries to avoid losing another spot to Parkhurst. That's going to put Parkhurst on the back foot here. Duran comfortably in control of this field. Denny down to 7th as things currently stand. The question is, what's going to happen here between Christina Ryan, Blake Henderson, and Josh Soucy, who continues to fall backwards? I think the ghost has been given up here for Josh Soucy's strategy call. Because he's now off the podium completely. Trout is on the podium still, but not by much. Trout came in on lap 95, the same as Henderson, but only took right side tires. Did not take a 4-tire stop, and it's showing, because that's a long way to go on just 2 tires around Kentucky. And they're going to swallow them up here together, and that's going to give Christina Ryan another really good opportunity to try to take something to Henderson in a battle that we've seen get very physical tonight. As they battle for this spot. Christina Ryan right in the rearview mirror of Blake Henderson. We're right on board with car 48. Here we go. Battle for second, provisionally. Really, it is battle for second. All 3 of them right here. Henderson passed there by Ryan. Keep an eye on this fight. This fight resumes here. Henderson trying to defend. We'll go back here real quick and see what happened to DJ Trout. So this is what happened to DJ Trout, I do believe. In this pass. Now Henderson kind of sent Trout in there. Trout's still rolling, by the way. But Henderson trying to fight as much as he can here. Henderson will end up being third place here. David Durand, race winner tonight. Phenomenal effort for David Durand. Race winner here at Kentucky. Phenomenal result. Obviously, he walked away with it. We didn't get to talk about him here much of this race, but he's going to burn it down. 101 laps led. What a night for David Durand there. Burnouts there in front of the field. We'll talk to him in just a moment. 101 of 117 laps led. We're going to hear from Christina Ryan here in just, from Blake Henderson at least in just a minute. Henderson finished third tonight in his fight. Blake, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy? Well, at least you showed you can move to the field tonight. Started this race in 16th, not where you wanted to be. And ultimately, I think that kind of cost you a chance to try to challenge Durand for the race win. You had the pace to do it. Third place, first podium, I believe, of the season in the National Series. Walk us through it.
I mean, it took me like 15 laps to get the track under my belt because I had minimal practice going in, but I was really pleased on how fast we were able to go through the field and how competitive we were. With the lack of cautions, it was hard to make up that gap that Pendle and Durand had. The only reason we got around Pendle is because he had a speeding penalty, but it was I was running the same pace that Durand had. He had that track position to start, and us having a pretty bad qualifying effort didn't help with anything, but I was really, really pleased with the pace we had overall. Should add second, kind of screwed that one up, but yeah, just one of the deals that you're going to have with a caution-free race. It's hard to make up a deficit like that,
Obviously, this works out for you a little bit going into this. Obviously, you didn't have a great time last week at Watkins Glen. Now you're getting back into a rhythm here with a couple races to go on Monday nights as well in the HTL Cup Series. How does a race like this help you out as far as just getting that momentum going? Obviously, these cars handle different. They're going to perform a lot differently. I think the racing's going to be a lot different. But just building that momentum up for a track that a lot of people have high expectations for after what was last season's race. How does this help you just momentum and mentally going into that race on Monday?
I mean, I feel pretty good. I don't know how much of it you caught, but I went through this race with a different mindset than I normally do. I feel like in past weeks, it's really the past season, especially in Cup, it's all of a sudden became okay to run the 25 all over the place, put me wherever you want, push me all over, and I won't do anything. And I decided to do something a little differently after the last couple of weeks, and I think it worked.
Obviously, it's worked out here. Again, you went from 16th to first. You were the biggest mover in tonight's race, up 13 spots from your starting position. The only other person that got close was McIntyre with 9 spots. So a phenomenal job here. You get to kind of spend the weekend to get ready for Monday. So a lot of work will go into that to try to win what has quickly become a popular race in the HTL community. Before we let you go and let you get ready for the weekend in advance, obviously it's going to be a busy weekend overall. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the effort tonight.
The reason it's a big race in the HTL community is because of you, so you can thank yourself for that one. I want to thank everyone. I think I'm on Deep Racing in this league. So Alfred Denny, Angel Santiago, and Chris Pendle, they put up with my ranting during the race. That, they kept me cool throughout the whole thing. Got a little bit hairy there with me and Christina. I have a lot of respect for Christina. I really do. But, just a couple wrong bumps, get cut off a couple times. And, I'm going to run a little bit more aggressively, But, this was a great race. I feel like 2024 has all around been a pretty good year for us. And I'm looking forward to see what else we can do this year.
Obviously, a fantastic effort here. Third place tonight, a really good podium effort for Blake Henderson. Let's see if you can do that again on Monday in the Cup Series. It's going to be tight competition across the board. The 25 car showed that 2024 has already been a way better year. Blake, we'll keep an eye on that 25 car on Monday. Enjoy the podium, and hopefully we get to talk to you again in a couple days.
Thank you, Carmen.
That was Blake Henderson, the third place driver in this queue tonight. Again, third from 16th on the grid. A great effort for car number 25. We'll move forward a little bit. We'll talk to Christina Ryan, second place finisher tonight. A strong effort for car 48 after being on pole position, winning last week at Watkins Glen. Christina, this is Carmen from the APN booth. You got a copy? Christina, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy? Radio check, radio check. Got to double check here. See what we can get figured out on this. Radio check, radio check. Do we have Christina Ryan in the booth? There we go.
Yeah, I got all kinds of problems. My mic wasn't working, and I didn't have permissions, but hi.
Well, obviously, it's nice to have these problems after the race than during them. Second place tonight, another really good result for you, and a car you weren't expecting to race as much as you have been. 3 starts out of 5 races. The first half of the season's kind of flown by, and it's podiums and wins across the board pretty much. Walk us through this race. Obviously, it's a package you've already made your displeasure known about. We already heard about that at Chicagoland. Walk us through it here tonight. Obviously, strategy was a really big part of tonight's race.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the league's fault at all. The drivers are really talented, and we had a lot of fun with everything we had. It's just a shame we got to be driving on this package where we can't really do anything. Yeah, I mean, congrats to Durand. I think he had something else different. Was stoked to get pole, and he was gone. So had no chance. As soon as somebody gets in front of you, it's game over. So I burnt through a lot of my tires trying to just stay with Durand, but he put his car where he needed to. And then I had completely shot tires, and just kind of, the package giveth and taketh away. I was able to hold off like 15 cars that were way faster because of the package. But from there, it was just trying to make pit stops the right time, and we did, but kept getting caught up in it with Blake. And I'm glad we didn't kill each other, because I wanted him to have a good day, but he felt, I don't know, I'll have to look at it. It felt like he just kept sliding up into me. So obviously, if I'm going to get knocked around a little bit, I'm going to race a little bit stupid back. And we pretty much had a choke contest until until one of us got in front. He got caught up on some lap cars. I burned my tires up to get around him, but track position was everything. So as soon as I got in front of him, it was all over. I think he probably could have got me if we had a different package, but not meant to be. But no, I'm pretty happy with that, all things considered. We led a lap, we started first and finished on the podium. Can't complain there. With no practice too, so.
Obviously, a fantastic job for you here tonight, and obviously it's going to be a very interesting time. Obviously, Wednesday we get to see you once again on track in the ABN.
Actually, I'm going to be in Vegas, so.
That's right. You're not going to be at Texas. You're going to be using one of your drop rounds, so you get to enjoy a full week off there in Vegas.
Yeah.
So even more fun for you there. I guess in that case, we'll see you in a couple weeks' time. Because it's going to be a wacky week all across the board. In that case, before we let you go and let you get ready for Vegas, if it's coming up that close, I keep forgetting that we're in February now. If there's anyone to shout
You
and
and
say
me
thank
both.
you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on another podium, second place. That's 2 podiums in a row and a phenomenal streak going right now.
Yeah, congrats everybody who was on the podium. I'm happy for Blake. I'm really, like I said, I'm really glad we didn't kill each other because I like him, but we were both pretty stupid tonight. So I'm glad it worked out for us. I'm sure we'll talk about it and be fine. I'm happy for him, and congrats to Durand. He had a rocket ship today, so there was no beating that. Shout out to Samsung for pulling through with my phone to give this interview because my mic still isn't getting picked up for some reason. And whoever on the back end gave me permission so that I could get this interview. I don't know how I got out of the server, but yeah, I somehow got out of the server. And besides that, just shout out to everybody who cheers for me every week, and big shout out to you for putting it on, and shout out to all the HTL Nationals drivers for being able to put on a show with a package this goofy. So we managed to have some fun despite it.
Yeah, obviously it was a lot of fun watching that battle. That was talk of the race between you and Blake Henderson, DJ Trout, Mark Parker. So it was a fun group to follow all race long. Christina, enjoy the podium. Enjoy your time in Vegas. Enjoy the week off. Enjoy the vacation. And we'll be seeing you again on track very soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was Christina Ryan, second place finisher here tonight after starting on pole position here tonight. We'll move up one more spot. It's the driver who waltzed away with the race win, David Durand, the race winner, 101 laps led, winner of Kentucky Speedway. David, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
A phenomenal drive here tonight. Obviously, winning at Kentucky, dominated 101 of 117 laps led. An absolutely dominant performance. You won by almost 9 seconds. It didn't seem like it was really that close after the second stops. You've had, I think, 5 seconds, and you just kept growing from there. Walk us through this race and what just made it so comfortable for you to be so dominant tonight.
I feel like with this package, I feel like clean air is what you wanted, to be able to get the car the way I wanted the car, the way I wanted to drive on this racetrack. This is one of my favorite racetracks, and this car together. So I knew if I had I knew I had to push it pretty early to get in the lead and just try to stay there, because like I said, clean air was what you wanted with this car. And if you're in dirty air, then you're just, you're eating up the right rear and the right front, trying to stay with the draft. So once I got clean air, it was just, just trying to just stay up there as much as I can, and we did. So I'm happy. The results finally came in. I mean, this is, like I said, I love this racetrack with this car. Just try to stay up front, and I was waiting for someone to do something different when it comes to strategy. That was my concern, and also just trying to at least get the white flag. So the end there, I think there was going to be someone was trying to maybe cause a yellow the way I was seeing some guys hitting the wall and such. But I'm happy we got the W.
Obviously, it's a phenomenal job. You get to extend your championship lead as well. Phenomenal, consistent showing for the 24 car here tonight. Obviously, we keep on moving. We keep on going forward. It's Bristol next week to really kind of kick things into another gear to kick off the second half of this season. But before we let you get ready for that race and all the melee and carnage that can come with that, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, David, the floor is yours. Congrats on the phenomenal performance here tonight.
Just happy to, proud of be part of HTLL. Happy you do the broadcasts. You do a great job each and every week that we race. Thank Radius Racing for letting me be part of their team. I'm by myself, but still looking for people. But at the end of the day, we'll look forward to Bristol. It's gonna be that'll be a fun track. So we'll see how strategy works for there, and see if we can stay out of trouble, and see if we can extend, maybe go back to back.
So that's the absolute goal there. David Durand, points leader, extending his gap here in a significant way with a race win at Kentucky. David, enjoy it, and we'll be seeing you at Bristol.
Thank you, Carmen.
That was David Durand, race winner here tonight. He had a really good night. 101 laps led, started this race in third, was down as low as 16th at one point. And that was during the pit stop cycles. Other than that, never in dispute. So much so that we were focusing on the battle for the podium places at the end of that race. But he did a phenomenal job here tonight. Full results popping up on your screen. Top 12, David Duran from 3rd to 1st. He'll win here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. Christina Ryan get to finally see her race at Kentucky. She finishes 2nd after being on pole position. Blake Henderson in 3rd, a really good podium effort for him. He's going to try to do the same on Monday. Mark Parkhurst in 4th for the 42 for Premier Racing Club, keeping his odds alive here. DJ Trout in 5th, Eli Sasek in the top 6, and it's Josh Susi, Lily Peltier Sharp, Alfred Denny, and Connor Morris rounding out the top 10. John McIntyre and Caleb Carter round out the top 12 in this field as we get ready to look at the next group. 21 cars took the start here, and it's a little bit more disappointing the further down you go in this. Jonathan Cogswell, Callie Height, top 14. Rhett Balzer from 17th to 15th. Richard Gonzalez from last to 15th to 16th place, excuse me. The home drivers did not have a good night. Chris Pendell, speeding penalty, took him out of contention for the podium, down in 17th from 7th on the grid. James Wright, early contact, took his chances away. He qualified 5th, a really good effort. Some positives, some silver linings there for James Wright. Angel Santiago in 19th, Josh Gaiman in 20th. Ruby Estes, the home driver from Lexington, last place here tonight. That's going to do it from us here at Kentucky Speedway for night 1. We'll be back again on Monday here at 8 p.m. on ABN1 for the HTL Cup Series. Between now and then, Sunday night, 7 p.m., you're going to want to tune in for this. It's qualifying and the duels for the ARCS Daytona 250. It's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to be there with everyone. Over 40 cars going to try to qualify here. Only 40 spots available. Some drivers going home. Who is that going to be, and who's going to start the race from pole position to kick off the 2024 A-Square Cup Series season? We find out Sunday, 7 p.m. here on ABN1. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be myself and Kevin Young in the booth for that. It'll be myself and Kevin Young in the booth for Monday's race as well. And Tuesday, we'll be back here at 8:15 on ABN1 for the HTL Truck Series race. Wednesday to kick off and round out the week of racing. It's the ABN Champ Car World Series from Texas Motor Speedway. A symphony of speed at 220 miles an hour. We can't wait. We hope you can't either. But on behalf of everyone for HTL, for the National Series, and everyone here at ABN Studios, it's been a fun night of racing. You get to enjoy the Saturday before the madness begins once again. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, though, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun in the week ahead. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.